than this one. And again, it must be according to the section of scripture in which you are. Now, there are some of you who gave me word studies all from verses 1 to 5. 5 word studies. So what about the other participles? And in First Peter, the participles are plenty. Almost wherever you turn to, you find it. Almost wherever you turn to, you find it. And you're wondering what is going on here. So, can we try? In fact, I was thinking about this. I was thinking that I'll take out the names of all the word studies that you have submitted to me and compile it as one document and send it to every one of you. These are the word studies that we each have done. You will know which ones are yours, and you will know which ones are not. And at the same time, you will know why you perhaps got 5 and some others got 10 by the texture and the extent of the word study that went in there. Small technical things. And then some of you will be disappointed, like, why didn't you actually do it? Because this is just such an easy thing that could have been done by me and done so well, but I didn't do it. So there is this side of things. There are some people who are perfectionists, perfect. They want everything perfect. And therefore, before they do anything, they first must see to it. Problem there. And then there are some people who are on the other extreme. They don't trust themselves. They think that for them, they cannot do anything good. Everything that they do is number 8. And you'll be surprised to know that actually what you think is number 8 for you is surprisingly so good. That's why it's always important to attempt. You could be the one who is actually discovering something better and greater. No? So, next time you look in your hands, look at them and say, these hands, as unique as they are, they can do unique things. So there's nobody who doesn't have a hope. We all have hopes. There's nobody who doesn't have intelligence. We all have it. So you can actually do it so well. You'll be surprised at yourself. But you're actually the one who comes up with an award for the best Greek ever. But that's not what I meant to say to you. But what I meant to say to you tonight is the quiz is fair. Just read carefully. Don't choose an answer just because the first 2 words are what you think is correct. Make sure that even the word, the form is correct at the end, because the mistake could just be in giving you the wrong form at the end. For instance, say, let's pass this word. How do you pass a verb? What do you go for? When you pass in a verb, what do you go for? No go. Can you pass the go?
Yeah, you know, means I speak. You know, I speak first person singular.
Okay.
What is it? What is it? First person singular.
Okay. Now you say legate.
Sorry?
Legate. Pass. Daniel. No, you're muted, Daniel.
What's the word block? Can you repeat it?
Legate.
That is, it could be, there's two possibilities. So the first one is present, active, indicative, second person plural, or it could be an imperative verb, second person plural.
Of what
That-
form?
that- yeah, that's my answer.
What form of the word? Okay, fine. Second person plural. Okay, of what verb?
Lego.
Right. Now,
I see.
a lot of you are able to say everything else, but you ignore the root word,
Let's go.
the lexical root word and its meaning. You must be able to say it. Right. Now, then the other aspect I need to mention, a lot of you are saying the root word Strong's G number so and so, and you've never even gone to read Strong's concordance. Because if you read the concordance, you could have produced a better and a richer word study. You don't go there. All you do is just use a strong G, and then you go for it. No. You need to read the Strong's concordance and see how Strong develops that word. And in many respects, we will even tell you that there are some forms of this word that are not in our Bible. But in classical Greek, this is how it was used. This is how this person used it. This is how this person used it. And in the present form, it's like this. There are also some of us who are doing word studies, and when you do a word study, you just say, this word is used in 1 Peter, in 2 Peter, it's also used in Luke, and you leave it there. But you don't mention how many times that word occurs in biblical read. You need to say, this word has been used 1,500 times, like this. You need to put that first so that we know that it's a word of importance to study. And the guidelines for writing word studies are just what they are in the question. That word, you identify where it is found, the verse number and chapter, and how many times it has been used in the New Testament, and what does it mean there? Okay? So those are the things that you actually must look at. If you tend to, let me just, for goodness sake, because I think it's important that we understand what we're doing. And just putting together all the word studies that you have done. I can produce a book called The Word Studies of Peter. Doing word studies in Peter. First Peter. Take the nuancing, just improve it a little bit, and I praise it. So, you're doing work, not just to get marks, but you're doing the work so that when you're beyond this place, you're able to say, we did word studies, and in our class, this is what I contributed. I'm laughing because sorry, let me try and make that a little bit bigger. But Daniel can see this because it will show what it is. At the beginning of each week, once translation work has begun, that is week 3, the student will be responsible for a word study or a significant word from the previous week's assigned translations. The word study should be a minimum of half a page and should include a short discussion of the origin. Okay, and some of you are doing quite well in explaining that this is a compound word that is formed like hupotasso. or below, report below, so submission, with the answer, and you discuss that. Ah, nice. Use of the word. Now you must attempt to explain how the word is being used by the user who is using it. Okay, that's one side of use. The other side of use is how many times has it been used? In First Peter, or beyond in the New Testament. And in some cases, you might even find yourself going to the LXX. How many times has it been used there? And what was it translating there in the LXX? And what did it mean in the LXX? That I should know. Okay? You know the LXX?
Greek Bible.
Yes.
The book of the 70.
The Septuagint. Okay? And meaning of the word. Now, meaning of the word, you sit down and ask yourself, when this man is using this word here, what does it mean? How is it? What is he meaning? Check that out. So some of those answers you actually find them in Strong's. You know? Check Thias. Check that. And then what else? In the commentaries. You can check in the commentaries as well. How has it been used? Been interpreted by this one, by that. Don't just use one, check a few guys. So, when the word comes to me, I'm not assuming that all you read is one commentary. You could have read several and then you disagree with all of these other guys and you just pick one that you agree with or that you think can carry conversational value. So there is a sense in which when it actually comes out as half a page, you've actually done a lot more work on it. There will be some things that you will see there and you say, okay, this I'll use in another space. You put it aside for another time. The same thing when you're preparing a sermon, you read the text. The Lord speaks to you, and then you say, no, the sermon I want is just this one. But this other truth is also valid. Doesn't mean you throw it away. You must open the second part where you say, for preaching at another. Okay. That's why from the same text you can preach 3, 4, 5, a series of sermons. So the skill that we're trying to do here is make sure that as opposed to thinking this is a daunting task, I can't do it, you actually begin saying, I can actually do it and try this. Am I being helpful? No.
Understand this because I can't see.
So, origin, use, and meaning of the word, and a total of 10 word studies related. Now, how many are we here? Just here. 6. And if your view wrote 10 unique word studies, how many do we have? 60.
7 with Daniel.
And 7 with Daniel.
And Paul.
Oh, and Paul, that's 18.
And Paul, 8.
But the odds are it's
Quite
not.
a bit, very good. Now, here's something now that that will shock you a lot. Even when you're doing word studies, don't forget your research methodology. How you cite your sources. And don't forget your research methodology. Issues that determines the credibility of an internet source. How must we present it in the paper? If the author has given their name, it's probably credible. If the author has explained why he has written what you have written is probably credible. Okay? If the author is writing in a conference setting, it's probably credible. It doesn't mean that anything you find, even you go to questions, you go to good questions, that website is meant for lay people. You are doing theology, and then you want to be treated like a Sunday school. Then you go to good questions. Yeah, of course, if you have not understood stuff, you can actually go and check it out and get it, but find more credible sources. In fact, you can even go to good questions and check whether one who provided the answer to good questions, where to find answers, you check those for yourself and generate a more credible reference list. Now, just copying a link does not mean you're given the reference list. No. You must process it. Say who the author is. If there's no author, say the which organization it is. When did that organization publish it? If there's no date when it published it, use the dates that you access the article and put it as a date there. Okay, and say access from such and such a website on such and such a date. So you must be able to account for your thoughts. We also have 1018, so those stuff will be throwing them into 1018 to see how much of that material you're getting from, what is this thing, the new thing called artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
We have capabilities to do that. And when you do take and you just say, oh, my sister here, praise the Lord, I forgive her, she doesn't know what she's doing. I forgive him, he doesn't know what he's doing. But make a comment that's improved. Now, here is something you must know about how sometimes I think something is not necessarily wrong, but it opens you up to being accused of dishonest work, or it opens you up to being accused of laziness. I mean, I can't just say it to I'll highlight it in some kind of form with color yellow or green, and then you ask yourself, why did you highlight it? And you begin thinking, what did I not do here? There is a discussion. When you see those colors there, then you know that there is a discussion. And if you have the courage enough to come and remind us, look, you highlighted this, what were you thinking? Okay, I'll tell you. Could be not necessarily wrong. But I'll be able to tell you, think again about this. That's all. Okay, now, I'm treating you like, what should I say? Final year students who have massive experience. And as far as Greek is concerned, you're the finalists. Nobody is going to do Greek here beyond what you do at undergrad level. The only Greek that you ever is the postgrad level when you do your uses in the study. Because again, that is the context of the postgrad level. But at this stage, you're good enough. You can even go and translate the text straight from Greek and put it into, and use that to inform your preaching. You're not an expert, but you have enough. Okay, J1, do you have a question? No, J1 would never ask me a question. He would say, when I ask him a question, he would say, no, you ask me. Name? Michael?
I'll ask you a question. What would you like me to ask a question on? On the website got questions.
should know that. Okay, right. So where are we in First Peter?
I think translations at the beginning of chapter 2. Translation like in class, chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
At the beginning of chapter 2, yes.
Are you sure?
80%.
You missed the tutorial.
The what? Oh, the tutorials. I don't know.
You missed the tutorial, bro.
I'm sorry, Doc.
That's all right.
I'd love to be with you, but God has opened up a mega door for me, so I can't be there on
The Lord has
Wednesday.
spoken to you
Yeah.
already. The amount of time that you need to spend in the course should be 6. The kind of waiting for the course, you need more time, not just meeting once. But also we assume that whilst you're not here, you're actually working with more time on your own for the week as well, which is fine. Okay. Okay, chapter 2 of First Peter. What I'd like us to do is to read. Do remember that we did this exercise, that we read a section of it. Each read a verse in the Greek, and then we began working on the identification of verbs and translating them and translating each of the verses. Right. And according to the module outline, as per today, we should be dealing with First Peter chapter 3, verses 1 to 10. Now, it's a consensus of us all that we begin with chapter 2. The last time I do remember that we did chapter 11, 25 of chapter 2. I think let's just get back to chapter 2, verses 11, 25. We'll have to read each of us the verse. First Peter chapter 11, chapter 2, verse 11, 25. Daniel, read verses 11 and 12.
Just to clarify, Doc, this is from chapter 2.
Chapter 2, yes.
Doc, sorry, just a quick question. The chapter 3 from verse 1 to 10, are we also going to include the vocabulary?
Yes, we'll do the vocabulary as well. All right, let's do a very quick exercise here. Whilst the reading is going on, all you need to do is identify the participants. Okay, and then we begin working through those participants. So at this stage, all you do is identify them. This is the participle, and you attempt to pass the participle according to our Peter. So, Daniel begin from chapter 2, verse 11. And to 12.
You want me to read chapter like verse 12 as well?
Yes.
11 and 12 or just 11?
11 and 12.
Okay. Okay, I'll read. Agapetoi, parakalo, os aroikus, kai parapideimus, apekestai, ton sarkikon, epithumion, aitines, stranteuntai, kata tes sukes. Ten anastrofein, umein in tois ethnesin e context kalen. Ina en o kata la lusin os kakopoion. Ekton kalon ergon epopwentos doxazosi ton theon in emera episcopes.
Good. Right, the next person, 2 verses then. Read Naomi.
From 13, just 13, 14.
13 and 14.
Υποκατάτε, πασέι ανθρωπίναι, τίσαι διατών ουριον, έτε παρασελέι, ως ουπερλέ, σκόντι, έτε Egeimassen aus die Hemomenois eis Casen Poion Pianon de Agathon.
Okay, go for it. 15.
Oti autos estito selemato seu alapoiontas timo tenton apronon anthronon anthropon alosian hos eleuseroi kai me hos epikalu epikaluma ekontes tes kakias te eleuserian hala os toloi seu.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
Pantas timesate ten adalphoteta agapate ton theon phobeste ton basileia timate oikatai upo tasso manoi en pante phobo tois despoitais monon tois agathois kai epikai kaisen ala kai tois scolios.
Okay, Sister Adele.
Protobractaris, edai, sunedesin, io, upoferai, tis lupes pascon adicos, Gatlios, Hematanuthis, Kai Kalafi Zomenoi, Tupu Menete, Agathopolite, Kai Pasco, Hupomeno, U Caris, Paratheos.
Proengar ei amatan rontes kai koloit sei zol menoi upo menaite ale ai ala la poi puentes kai pascuntes opomende menaite toto haris para fio aistoto gar eclecente
Hang on, I'm reading the text.
You read 20 again.
Mm-hmm.
So you started at 21.
oh
Yeah, you were supposed to just do 21 and 22.
aistoto gar eclecente hodie kai Christos epeve uper umin opolen san non apogra mon hina epeko lo thesete tois ignesen auto os amatian ok epiosen ore iure the dulos en tu scomate auto.
Okay. Francis?
Horus, Oloidolum, Menos, Ug, Anteloi, Pascon, Ug, Apelei, Palidio, the two Crinon, Vicarios, Hostas, Amatias, Hemon, autos, and then they get into Somat, auto, to Seron, Minatas, Amatanias, Apogenom, Enon, Te, Dicaiosin, Sesumi, Yo, Cho, Moro, Yafeti.
Okay. Have you read 25 as well?
Etika was Robert, Panominoi, Elistrathate, 9, 8, Ton, Wenina Kai, Episcopon, Ton, Psychon, Imon,
Sukon.
Psychon, yeah.
Step 2. You read a section of that text. Can you pick a word that confuses you in the section that you read? Or word you don't know? Daniel was first. So if you
Yes.
if you go
I think I'd have to take the word from verse 11. It's strateontai.
for the on time. Have you ever done a word study on that? Daniel?
Can you hear me now, Doc?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you now. Doc. I can hear you now.
Okay. No, I have not done a word study on Saturday on time.
Start your own time. Okay. From the look of things, tell me, from the paradigm that you've made so far, how does it look like? Is it a participle? And if it's a participle, what type of participle is it? And what is the case? Remember on time?
Well, on time. If I had to look at it quickly, it looks like participle. On time is
Or is it just a verb that is passive or middle?
of course. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't follow the participle paradigm.
Okay. Follow the participle.
That would be middle. That's a middle plural third person. Present. It's present active indicative third person plural.
Not middle. Supposed to be middle?
Or middle or passive. Middle or passive.
Middle or passive. Okay. Right. And how do we get them to know the difference? That this word is passive when we make the conclusion from the reduction from the context or what?
Well, passive or middle? Do you mean between the two? Not in present.
If it's present middle, how do we know? Present middle or present passive?
Present passive is being done to you. Present middle, but you are doing it to yourself.
Yourself now. The question is, how do you know? How do you determine whether being done to you or being done to yourself?
If there's more than one person in the context.
I was just looking for that right context. Context will help you know which way to go. So, according to Daniel, he has not studied that word. All right. So the first thing that you do when you meet a word like that, what do you do with it?
Study.
You study it. You've been given access to a dictionary. You go and find what it means,
Yeah.
and then you fuzz it. Okay. Let's try and do something on that. Because that word comes from stratio, which is a verb. Okay, and what does it mean, strategy? Strategy. Who makes strategy?
Leaders.
It's usually in a war.
Mm.
No? That's where they even get the term strategy from, war strategy. It's from that word, which means I wage war. I wage war. Now, strateontai. Okay, we've said it's plural, third person, indicative, present, middle. It's a verb. So how do you translate that? Then, in that, how do you translate it?
So it's wage war like against myself, or because it's third person against itself. So against something like the subject that the sentence is talking about.
Yes, yes.
So which is
it can be
yes.
said, all right, fine, let's try and translate that sentence. It's interesting. Agapechoi, anyone knows what agapechoi, that word means?
Beloved.
Beloved, all right. Parakaleo, anybody knows what that means?
I beg you.
Huh?
I beg you.
I beg you, I urge you, I beg you. Okay, I beg you, thank you. Horse. What is the horse there meaning?
As.
As. Excellent. I beg you as Paraipus. Who are these Paraipus and Parapidemus?
It's like sojourners or pilgrims, sojourners.
Okay.
Aliens or foreigners.
Okay. Now, Daniel only identified that word stratio on test because he avoided doing the word study on it, so he brings it here. How about the other one there? That word,
Which one?
apeches style. Hmm? It's a present, middle, but there's something unusual about that present middle.
Sorry?
Something unusual about it. Looks like an infinity.
It's a dot,
Yes?
the infinitive.
An infinitive. And when you're translating an infinitive, how do you translate it? To. So that word there is about making a statement to. So if you know the meaning, by this time you should have known the meaning of that, because you're reading it now. Okay. It comes from the word apeko. Apeko. And Michael, remember that echo means I have.
Yeah.
Ape means
From, away from.
to abstain.
Yeah.
To abstain.
So away from.
Away from having.
Yeah. Away from having, yes.
Okay, so that's the etymology of that complex. So that's how that word comes. So it's apeko. So, dear beloved, I urge you, as those who are foreigners and strangers, to abstain ton sakikon. Ton sakikon, the definite article there is in the dative or ablative.
No, man, it would be accusative or dative.
Dative,
Or accusative.
dative,
No, it won't be a dative, because it doesn't have an iota.
it doesn't have a iota, but what does it have?
I
Isn't
think.
that genitive?
That's genitive.
Yeah.
That's genitive there. Genitive, ablative,
Yeah, but it's an adjective though.
then it becomes an adjective. Now, but what does the genitive tell us? Of or from?
Yeah.
So you abstain of
Or from
sakikos, which is the flesh.
a sakikos,
Sakikos.
a packet of food. Yeah, that's what we call it. Yeah. The sakikos.
Sakikos. Yeah! That's how you remember the
So this
flesh.
sounds like Afrikaans, eh?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. A lot of it sounds like it.
I saw a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
abstain
Scully is
from,
unreasonable.
abstain from will be about, if you said abstain of the flesh, it's not, it's true because that's what it is. Could be genitive or ablative. Okay, genitive or ablative.
Mm.
But The context will tell you that the choice word will just be to say, abstain away from
Mm.
Something of the flesh.
something of the flesh. Now, something of the flesh, what is that of the flesh? Epithumia. What is epithumia? We know that feminine word, epithumia. What could it be? Epithumia, it's from a vocabulary.
Desire.
The desires
Desires are lost.
or lust. Desires of lust of the flesh. All right. Okay. So then, if a translation reads something like this, beloved, I plead with you as aliens and foreigners or strangers to abstain from lustful desires, which, because that's what the IT makes, which wage war against kata, against tes sukes, that's your soul, against your soul, your souls. All right, that's plural. And sukes is, if you decline that, that's a noun and comes from suke, feminine genitive, singular. Okay, which word wage against your soul? Okay. Right, so we've done for Daniel 1. Let's go and do the second one for, what's your name? Nehemiah. You read 2 verses.
Yes.
From those verses, pick a word that baffles you or that you avoided to submit a word study on.
There are two words.
Okay, pick 2 words.
I'll
Pick one and let's go.
The last one in verse 13, which is upereksonti.
Okay, and that, what verse is that? Sorry.
Verse 13. But, okay, can I change it then? Because I looked it up afterwards.
Okay.
Um,
Now, what did you find when you looked it up after?
Okay, it is a participle. It's a present participle active verb, and it means being supreme.
Being supreme. Okay.
I would even say putting yourself above.
Michael studied that word.
I have no idea. Maybe I did.
Somebody studied that.
Let me
That's
check.
why I can remember somebody coming out like that.
Let me just check. Seminary. No, I didn't do that word.
You know,
But just because of the uper, I thought of that way. So it's like echo and then having, and then uper, like
yeah.
placing yourself above.
Right. Listen, in a study of Greek, let's say, let me just give an example. Every chapter like this will have an average of about 15 new words. 15 new words, and we work with that. And if there are, let's say, 20 chapters, a lot of few words, it means that the new vocab that we added to our vocabulary is only that much, it's not much. So we'll be meeting newer Greek words as we read the text.
Yeah.
So in translation work, you cannot do your translation without having a lexicon by your side. Okay, now the point is you must see those words, what they look like, and check what the lexicon says is the root word for it. And then you make a conclusion on how to go about translating.
Yeah.
So, in this case, there is a word called opereko. And that's the root word for operekonti, where it's a verb, it's acting as a verb, a present active participle.
Onti.
Dative, singular, masculine.
Dative. Okay, so
And
that's the
means
indirect
The
object.
one ruling,
Mm.
the one ruling,
Mm.
the one in power,
Mm.
the one in authority.
Mm.
Okay, so that's what it means there. So, and then Peter is telling them by giving them a command, almost an imperative, in that word. Upotagete is an imperative,
Mm.
and it's a verb that means it's an aorist passive verb, imperative, second person plural, saying you obey.
What is this?
You obey. Who are you going to obey? Those ruling over you. Okay? That's the idea there. So, now, what about passe? Passe is past and it means what? Or to everyone.
Where are we now, Doc?
We stay at 13.
So that is a few ways.
Eh?
It's the second word from 30.
Upaswe.
Oh, I say, okay.
Upukutadate.
Alright, now, tell me, you said you had 2 words?
Yes, the other one was T-say, which seems to have different meanings. Yeah,
It's a small word?
yeah, it's a dative feminine noun, but it means institution. In some translations, in my what's it called? In the linear, it means ordinance.
Where is this?
Ordinance or institution.
Katise.
So what does that mean? It's kind of confusing, though. Ordinance, institution, so how do you marry them?
Institution, now this is where we have overlap of meaning. An ordinance can mean an institution to a certain degree. It can also mean a commandment. It can also mean a rule of governance. This, I think, institution will be a more accurate expression.
Because of the context.
Because of the context.
Yeah.
So, obey institutions. So if the council has given a rule that if you need water with a hose pipe and you caught washing a car, you'll be in trouble. So he's writing to them to say, look, he gives them an imperative participle in upotagete, say, everyone obey. It's a form of address. Everyone obey. You obey. You obey. It's a command. So the mood there is an imperative. And when you break it, you're in trouble. Okay. All right. So that was you. Brother, I call him Bishop. He's my Bishop. If he's not your Bishop, he's my Bishop. Because the Lord is going to use him then. God, choose a word from there, what you read, which you think we need to work with. And what verses did you read? 15? 15, 16. Okay. Which word do you what you should do is, in fact, even when you're reading in English, you always ask yourself, what word in this text is strange to me, or is confusing in this text? Where is it? When you find it and you study that word, it will open up the rest of the four. So which one, choose one bro, so that we can work on it.
The struggle is for me is that pronoun.
A pronoun and its inverse.
Verses 15. That's
Oh, okay.
A pronoun.
yeah.
Verse 15. Verse what? 2:15.
Yeah, 2:15.
I thought you read 16, bro. Anyway,
15 and 16.
15 and 16, okay. A pronoun.
Is
Are you sure Agatho Poentas never mesmerized you? It's a long word.
yeah, long one, but I tend to make initiation from Agathos.
Okay, Aleph. All right, okay. So let's go with a pronoun. What is a pronoun? Is that a verb or an adjective or what?
This looks like adjective. Like dative. Neuter.
Or masculine? No, that's good. Afron. Afron. What do you think it means? Foolishness. Foolishness. Okay. Or foolish. Because it's huh?
An adjective.
An adjective, yes. What is the case? Genitive or ablative, so foolishness. All right, that's good. Now, when you seeking to translate any part of any sentence or part of the sentence, what do you go for first? What do you look for?
The subject is gender.
Number one, find the verb. Find the verb. When you find the verb, you ask yourself what is the case, gender, number, in the case of what, you know. But in a verb, you need to know, what do you need to know? The verb.
The mood.
You need to pass it. You need to pass it. You need to pass it. Okay, when you pass it, you'll be able to say what the verb, whether it's the mood of the verb, the tense, what else? Person, number,
and
come on guys.
It's 5 things. Next,
Tense,
mood,
tense, mood, number,
and
Kiss.
action.
and the verb form, the root form. Because even if you have identified it as a verb, but you don't know what the root is, it means you are here to find the meaning. So you must always mention the dictionary form. In this case, this is it's good to study because it throws some light, but you're still far away from translating that sentence until you find the verb. When you find the verb, we want to know now the tense, the mood. Okay. What else?
Voice,
Voice, yes.
person, gender
Person.
and person.
Yes, gender and person. Okay.
And number.
And then the next thing you look for, from the endings, you probably begin to guess who the subject is. It could be one word, one noun, or it could be a participle. And you need to know the gender or the inflected forms there to be able to arrive at it. So, thank you for choosing that one. But if I were you, I would have chosen, I wanted to know what that big word is all about. Agatho poion tas. And it comes from agatho poieo. Okay, and what does it mean? That by doing right. You see, it's a participle. Doing right, and here it's a present active participle, accusative, and it's masculine. All right, so who is going to be doing right here? What does hoti mean?
Hoti.
Hoti.
Oh,
Because. For. Or because.
or that.
Or that. Hoti. Utos. Esteem. What is esteem?
He is, or is,
Yes.
or it is.
Okay.
Third person.
Third person.
Singular.
Okay. So, you need to know the verb first, and then you begin to follow what is coming out of that. So, for this kind is the will of God. This kind is for this kind, or because, or as this kind is the will of God. But by doing what is right, you fimun. You fimun. You silence. You foolish. The foolish. Now, which are the foolish here? How do you know? Is it the foolish ideas and the foolish subject or what? There is anthropon there. The foolish people. Okay? The foolish people. And then there's another word there, agnosian. And it's coming from
Gnosis.
Agnosias, which means ignorant. Okay. So the sentences they are pretty good for us. For such is the will of God that by doing what is right, or by righteous living, you will silence the ignorance of foolish people. You will silence the people who are ignorant. Alright? And there we go. Alright, thanks, Michael.
Yeah. Doc, I was actually just checking that word, that F noun. that A also has negatives as well.
It negates.
Yeah, so it negates. So it's actually from "fron," which means mind. So it's like without mind and without knowledge.
Yes, and it means the same thing.
Yeah, it means the same thing. So those without mind and knowledge. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Michael, choose a word. Choose a word.
But 17, 18.
17, 18.
I actually, when I did my word study, I did all of these. So, because I did Upo Tasomanwe, but then I studied all the words with it. So I would say, if I had to guess one, I would say Adal Foteta,
And that's in verse
17.
17. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's not a verb or a participle, but that's just something that would have caught my attention because it's not Adol Fos or Adol Fe, and so why is it in that form?
Okay, the brotherhood.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about agapete?
Yeah. I think I did that earlier, but in another class. But
It's an imperative.
yeah. Kapate, to love.
Okay, and there's another imperative in that sentence. Can you see it? Adele, can you see it?
It's Timati,
Timasate.
Chimasate.
Timasate.
Okay. The interesting part is that this looks similar to
Timon.
no. What ending in the present active is it?
Ete.
Second plural.
Second plural.
Mm.
Second plural. So you watch it. So the moment you see it looks like second plural, and the only difference there is alpha, and most probably accented. You begin to see it's an imperative.
Mm.
It's an imperative. Okay. All right. It says, and what kind of an imperative is this? Of course. Time is about honor, and sate is that part of the imperative paradigm that says you must honor. And in that sentence is pantas, time sate, ten, arefonte, arefonteta, agapetai, ton theon, obeste, ton basilea, timate. There is another imperative.
Mm.
Right. So, let me let the cat out. The oral exam will sound like this. Read the text, identify something participle or objective in the sentence that you have read. Tell me something about it. What do you know? What does that word mean? And, why do you think the writer is using that word? So, one of the things that you ought to do is at least once a week listen to First Peter in a different translation, so you can see the flow of God as it goes. Are you scared? That will just be the two of us and I'm asking you. Because now you can't even say, Michael is going to answer or Nehemiah is going to answer. You can't answer yourself. Now, here's the truth. If I ask you the same question twice, I'm probably asking you to correct what you said and add some more stuff to it.
Mm.
Right now, Also, there must be some kind of freedom of reading the text. So you need to know how to read the text. So I'll tell you, okay, one, can you open to Petro R1 verse 5? So then you say, the dog, the truth, the dog, the truth. Then I said, sorry, then you failed the first mark, I take it out. I mean, First Peter, chapter 1, verse 5. Oh, okay, that's it.
You still won't find it though. Because if you're looking for 1 Peter, you're not going to find it.
Okay, well, we can stop here now. The rest you do for yourself. I'm going to meet again, whether it's Wednesday, those who come on Wednesday, we just proceed from chapter 2:25 to chapter 3. And we'll do a similar exercise we've done tonight. Okay? I will record it, so if you miss it, you can ask for the recording and go through it. Okay? Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop here now. Daniel, thank you for coming. And thank you for coming, Jaiwan.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Naomi.